you.
All right, Alan, first question, go ahead.
Great to see you again, Coach.
Good to see you.
It's going well. And Coach Anthony Beck discussed, and they posted it up on the UFL, that his why as to becoming a coach. Can you explain your why as to what made you decide to become a coach?
I loved my time at Iowa. I had great coaches. I was under the likes of Hayden Fry, Bill Brazier, my position coach and coordinator, but Barry Alvarez, Dan McCarney, Kirk Ferentz, all these guys, Bill Snyder, they're like family to me, and I loved my time there. And it got to the point where I had a business degree, and I was interviewing with a couple of big companies at the student union. You know how they have career day? My tie, my shirt, I had that football neck, my shirt wouldn't button. I couldn't get the tie all the way up. And I come walking into the football office after my interviews, and by the way, I wasn't offered a job. And I came walking in the football office, and Dan McCarney and Barry Alvarez were laughing at me on how I looked with my tie, my shirt not buttoned. And they asked what I was doing, and I said I was interviewing for jobs. And they said, they started laughing at me and said, you need to just stick around here and work with us and be a GA. And my position coach, the elder statesman, Bill Brazier, said, if you can do without football, do without it. But if you can't, you can be a graduate assistant here and start your career. And that's what I did. And thank goodness, I've loved every bit of it. I know my wife would laugh at this. It's like I never worked, because she's the one that's seen the stress, how tired I am coming back and fighting through a season. But it really, for me, it's like I've never had a job.
Thank you. And then you have a very straightforward approach, honest approach with the players. Can you talk about that transparency with the players?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's all about the proof is you watch tape, you watch film. This is what we did. This is what they did. And, there's no sugarcoating it when you go through the tape. And, you have to acknowledge and work on things that you can be better at. And sometimes you got to give the other team just got us on a certain player, a certain situation. But, you have to be transparent and factual in everything that you're doing.
I guess a lot of people may not realize, but you got a chance to coach quarterback Baker Mayfield. Can you talk about him as a person and as a quarterback and player?
Well, I think everybody's aware that I coached Baker, and in fact, he's the one that walked on and introduced himself to me. And anyway, Baker's a fabulous person, guy. Love him to death, and is an incredible teammate. You'll hear that from every locker room he's been in, that he's the best teammate there is. More so than he portrays publicly in the locker room and around his peers. He's a humble, great, good-natured guy. Loves to have a good time or get a laugh or have some fun, but a lot of guys do that. And a lot of times that's what makes the locker room the most enjoyable is the antics that go on. But Baker's the best, was a fabulous guy to coach, runs around every day with a ton of energy, gives energy to everybody else. Gave it to me. While you had to watch him though. If he sneak up on you, he'd give you a big old swat on the can, on the rear end, and it'd sting. So you had to be on high alert if he was running around.
Finally, the game. What are your thoughts about Battlehawks and this big game that you got coming up?
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Anthony Beck does a great job. Dave Bowler, their GM, as well. They got good players, across the board, both sides of the team. The receivers, Pearson and Butler, really good. I really like Manny Wilkins and what he's doing, ability to scramble around a little bit. And then you got a bunch of good defensive front guys. DNs, outside backers are really strong. I like their inside backers, Harvey and Rose. I saw Rose, of course, at Iowa State when he was there. So they got a lot of good players and good coaching. They're doing a nice job.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Hey, Coach. Appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. To kind of bounce off of Alan's last question said, this Battlehawks team is well coached. They have some momentum. Coming off a tough loss against DC, obviously they kind of want to get some get back as well after a loss in Arlington to you guys last year. What are some of the keys that you think for Arlington to get a win this time?
Probably the biggest thing, they're #1 in the league in rushing the football. They've been really good with it and great at it. But we're #1 in the league in rush defense. So, and then we're #2 in rush offense, right behind them. Not right, they're a little bit, maybe 100 yards ahead of us. So, but we're not too far off. So to me, a big part of this game will be who can really be great running the football or defending the run, trying to get the other team into predictable passing situations. I think will be a big deal. And every game, turnover margin's a huge deal.
Kind of talk about your defense a little bit and the improvements that we've seen there, where a season ago through 3 weeks, I think you've given up around 75 points, give or take. And so far through 3 weeks this season, you've only given up 28. I mean, just a drastic improvement there. Can you kind of speak on just what you've seen out of your defensive unit?
Yeah, I think across the board, we're just stronger overall personnel-wise. The secondary's much improved overall skill-wise and talent. Same with linebackers, and I believe our defensive front is better and stronger from a year ago. So all of it together, we're improved. And you have to give the coaches, Coach Marvin Sanders and Jay Hayes and Tommy Thigpen, they've done a really good job with the guys.
Are there any defensive players in particular that have kind of really stuck out at you through these first few weeks?
For us, Willie Taylor's been really strong. Joe Powell, always strong. Stephen Jones overall. Jay and then Donald Payne, linebacker-wise, and anyway, a lot of the Will Clark been good. So we've all of them have really played pretty decently.
Final question for me, the offense this past week, or really the past couple of weeks, has had a problem, finishing in opposition's territory, finishing in the right zone. How do you get over that competition against the same with defense that is very opportunistic?
There's no magic to it. You just got to, you got to make good plays. You got to execute, what we're trying to run. You got to do it better than they can defend it, and we've got to do a better job getting it in the end zone. You can't wave a wand and make yourself get in the end zone.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate your time.
Yep.
Oscar?
Thank you, Bianca. Hello, Coach. Great to see you again.
Hello, Oscar.
A couple of questions. The first one, what is your opinion about Coach Anthony Beck on the field and outside the field?
I like Anthony Beck a lot. Off the field, a wonderful man. I've got to know him really well over these last couple of years. In fact, I had he and his wife over to my house the night before his son, Rocco Beck, was playing against OU this past year. So it was fun to have he and his wife over for dinner with some of my friends. And so anyway, we've become really good friends and really respect him, the heck out of him as a football coach. His teams play well, their offense, defense, their execution, but their scheming as well. I really like. I think they do a really good job, with their structure and what they're doing. So he's done an excellent job as a coach. But no surprise, as long as Anthony's been in the game and around the game.
Yeah, I understand, and you answered me my next questions too, because I want to ask you about an anecdote with Anthony Beck. I had the opportunity to talk with Anthony, and he told me you are one of his mentors in coaching profession. What is your opinion about Rocco Beck?
Yeah, well, that's a nice compliment. I appreciate that, and I just, Rocco, I love watching the guy. To me, he's done an excellent job at Iowa State and is only going to continue to get better. So I'm happy for him and follow him and watch him all the time. And anyway, wish him, of course, the very best of luck, and Anthony as well. Anthony's a young guy, a lot younger than I am, so who knows, hopefully this will, keep, this got his coaching start, but hopefully this will lead to other things as time goes on.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Coach. Gracias. Have a great day.
Gracias.
Any other questions for Coach Stoops?
All right, thank you.